I lost most of my scanned sketches because my hard disk crashed and my backup didn't work for some reason, and I lost all my last 6-7 years of scan. So I decided not to fret, but actually rescan my work. And after I scanned my work, I wrapped up each of my old sketchbook from 2017, I think, in plastic, and I'm intending to just store them away for good. Well, for a long time. It's probably gonna go to the warehouse. And yeah, and I wrapped it up, and you know, I've got a stash of it. This is my stash. So here's the stash of sketchbook that I have managed to scan so far over the few weekends. So after I have scanned them, I put them in Dropbox, and these are all the sketchbook I've compiled in PDF. This is the latest sketchbook, half done, work in progress, that is. This is the very first one in the list, from 2016 in UK. This is my 2017 Stillman and Burn Alpha. So you can see it's neatly done. So I decided to do a video to highlight some of the sketches from this compilation. I hope you enjoy it. When you're sketching travel, it's usually a good idea to have your first page smashed in with the airport, maybe the plane that's going to take you somewhere for your adventure. This one is the Turkish airline that took us to England for us to visit some universities, candidate universities for my daughter, who is going to be going to the university really soon. Well, oftentimes I like to sketch the queue going into the boarding gate, and this one is when I was going to Bangalore or Bengaluru in India for work recently, and I had the chance to sketch you know, the folks lining up in Changi Airport, Singapore. The next one is of the same technique. Of course, the first one was more focusing on value. This one I'm focusing a little bit more on the lines. But the whole idea is still to keep hold of the single point perspective and understanding where's the vanishing point, and then, you know, just sketch everything accordingly. And this one has a lot of special memory for me because I really enjoyed AsiaLink Taichung or Taiwan in 2018. Notice that they are either just pure lines or black and white ink work, simply because I don't really have a lot of time. Sketches like this takes no more than 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most. The next set would be a selection from my travel sketches. This one is an interior of a cafe, a very rustic cafe in Taiwan. When I was there in 2017, I was brought there by Jenny, who is a sketcher, watercolorist. She lived in Singapore and now has gone back to retire in Taipei, Taiwan. And actually it was a lovely day out, having coffee and just sketching with a bunch of Taipei sketches. Lots of memory just by looking at this sketch. The next one, oh wow, this one has got great memory. It's the Minak Theatre. It's overlooking the Celtic Sea. It's at the tip, the southern westernmost tip of the England island, and it's a theatre carved out from the rocks and by a lady called Rowena Kate. Fantastic place where they play lots of Shakespeare's and other sort of theatre production. Amazing memory just looking at it. The next one is from my adventure with my family in Africa. This is the Serengeti sketch where we were in a jeep, just like the one you see here, and it was a great migration that was happening right there, and all the animals that was heading west, we were chasing it, and it was just an amazing sight, watching all the animals rushing and in the great migration. You see that they are wildebeest, the animals here in the foreground. We saw almost all the animals we wanted to see, the lions, the leopards, and so on. The only thing we missed was the rhinos. Apparently they are really hard to catch, and they are really endangered. This was from a trip we made in 2019. I'm not sure when we'll be able to get back to Africa and Serengeti again. Hopefully sometime in the future we'll go back again. The next sketch is from Bangkok. This is a famous noodle place in Bangkok. I was brought there by Pramod and Kunashni, and they told me this is a famous one because a lot of the Koreans came for noodles. Anyway, I love the Thai sketches, the Bangkok sketches. I really miss them. I want to go back and see them soon. And again, great memory just looking at this. Travel sketch brings emotions and memories back when you see them, when you just going through them, pouring through them. You can experience the same emotion again in many ways. Okay, I know it's a bit random, but let me just continue to tell you my stories. This one was 2022, last year, Chinese New Year, where I make my trip back up to Malaysia to visit family. We were stopping over in Seremban, like we normally do, and then we decided to be a sort of a tourist in Seremban. We took a boat ride, and I didn't go, but I was just on the side watching my daughter and my wife going around the little lake in Seremban. And the spread on the left, those were basically goodies that we went to buy in a shop from this frozen food shop to sort of store for Chinese New Year, basically, where some of them were gifts, some of them were for ourselves. Great memory again. Lots of memory flooding back just looking at this sketch. Alright, this one is from a sketch made of like a tourist gift from Cappadocia, Turkey. We went to Turkey in 2022 September to celebrate a friend's 30th anniversary celebration. They live there in Turkey and they invited us there, but they are now in Singapore. But they invited us and we went and celebrated with them. And after that, we went for a short tour around Turkey. It was lovely. It's an amazing set of memory looking at, and lots of Turkey memories coming back as well, especially the wine, discovered Turkish wine. They're really excellent. A couple of months before we went to Turkey, we were actually in London. You've already seen a sketch of the airport. Turkish airline that took us to London. This is from a collection of a single line. Each of these objects was drawn without lifting the pen off the paper. And it was basically the key icons of London or England, if you like. From Big Ben to the bus to the now defunct telephone booth, and so on and so forth. Bobby, the taxi. I think, again, it's very interesting that each of these sketch allows you to flash back a little bit of a piece of your travel. And I think when I scanned my sketchbook, it wasn't scanning sketchbook, it was actually scanning memories. Alright, this one is from the same travel. We stopped by at Stratford-upon-Avon, that's Shakespeare's land. We stay in this Airbnb, very lovely house. You can see the door. And they usually hang a little bit of flowers and just lovely, right? Because I think the weather in England is so conducive to have plants and flowers, and it's amazing. And the house was really well equipped, and I enjoyed myself tremendously. I sketched a few and doodle little artifacts around the house for memory's sake, and certainly as I look at them now, I can imagine the place quite vividly in my head. And that's the thing, right? You could remember much better because you sketched. You took time to breathe in the air and smell the roses and sketch the place. It wasn't just with your phone and you took a snap, and there's not much of a memory making because all you did was just take a photograph, and there's not much memory there. And this one is from my recent trip to Bengaluru. The customary plane sketch, the three-wheel taxi, if you like, in green. In the middle is the driver that took me from the airport to the hotel, and on the right is the street vendor that sells food on the street. Unfortunately, I didn't try it. I'm not sure my stomach could take it. But I guess, oftentimes I actually would have sat down and eat. Anyway, I didn't this time around. Maybe next time. Okay, the next set would be animals. I found lots of animals in my sketchbooks. By the way, I had intended to show, probably about 50 or 60 sketches, but I think judging by the speed of my narration and so on, I might just stop after this set. And maybe if you guys are interested to hear me talk about some of my other sketches, I'll be happy to do another video to continue with the series if you like. This one though is a colorful sketch of an elephant. I purposely changed the color to make it more colorful. It was an illustration for a YouTube video, anyway, it's a lot of fun when you change the color of the animals and to make it emote certain things, like in this case bright elephant. Now continuing with my Africa sketch, this is the ostrich I saw, and then I sketched it. This one took me no more than 10 minutes. I remember it was just grazing, and it was probably about maybe 15-20 meters away. We were inside the jeep very quietly, and the amazing thing is that there are always a couple, there are always two of them, but anyway, I caught only one of these. I can remember quite a lot of the details in the conversation in the jeep with our guide Sudi. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. I don't paint a lot of birds, but this is one of my first. It's a popular bird, or rather a bird that you can commonly find in Singapore, the yellow-vented bulbul. And I remember doing this, and it was so difficult for me because of the backlight and the proportion, and the fur, the feather, and so on. But anyway, I have quite a few of sketches of birds now, having attempted a few times, some disastrously, but some turn out to be reasonable, like this one. The next two are from a series when we went to the zoo in Singapore. Here in Singapore, again, it was a great memory because the people I went with, Chit Sing, Helena, Ren Hui, and it was just a great day out. It's not the animal, but when I see this fish, I am reminded of my friends more than the fish itself. Well, but then back to the fish. The reason why I like this sketch is because it has got a myriad of color embedded into it, trying to sketch the shimmering skin of the fish, if you like, the scale, it's just the idea of throwing in lots of colors just to get that shimmering feel for the fish. Who wouldn't like the wise tortoise? I love this sketch. And the simplicity of living life to the fullest, if you like. Probably seen all the tourists and the residents of Singapore that came to visit the zoo, but the idea that maybe it is them watching us and not us watching them. Okay, one more from the colorful crab series. I've done a series of these actually, and this was one of my first. The idea of using blue for shadow and contrasting that with orange very nicely, complementary color scheme, if you like. And I've used that color scheme whenever I wanted something in your face, something more bright. That's the plan. Even the shadow is a bit of a orange and blue, if you like, muted, of course. Okay, the final one is ink sketch of a doggy catching the ball in mid-air. This was for Inktober, and I used to follow Inktober, but gotten very lazy the last few years, despite it being COVID and plenty of time. But anyway, even ink lined scratch on a piece of paper gives you tremendous emotion. When I was doing this, I remember it wasn't about precision and individual line that's correct down to the T, but really to just give it a feel for a lively dog catching a ball. Alright, so with that, I hope you enjoyed my commentary on some of my sketches. I've got a lot more to go. And I think I want to do a 1 hour series of my sketches. Even though I'll be interested, I'm not sure you'll be. But if you are interested to hear more about some of these sketches, let me know in the comments below, and I will do another one, maybe 20 sketches or 25 sketches or whatever it is, from different genre that I've done. Alright, bye for now, wherever you are, stay safe.